Joining us now, entrepreneur Jessica Lormer, who says Facebook is damaging society, and David Glenwright, a Facebook-accredited social media trainer, who says the site is a positive force. Very good morning to you both.
That sounds very sinister, by the way. What is that?
A Facebook-accredited trainer?
Yes.
Someone who's been trained by Facebook to help entrepreneurs up and down the country use Facebook to grow their business.
So what sort of information do you use from Facebook? Because the allegation is that this company, Cambridge Analytica, have been harvesting information from profiles and perhaps using that information to influence the way that people vote.
There's a lot of information available to advertisers, but we don't know who the people are. If I was a jeweller, I could target men in their 40s who have a wedding anniversary coming up in the next 3 months, but I won't know who they are. That's how it usually works, and that's how Facebook's system is built.
What do you mean you wouldn't know who they were? How could you advertise to them unless you knew who they were?
I tell Facebook, these are the people that I want to send an advert to, and Facebook then shows the advert to them, but I, as an advertiser, never get to see that data. I just know that it's gone out to those people.
I mean, I would disagree to a certain extent. I've built a business on Facebook over the last 3.5 years, and I think that Facebook intentionally had really good, or at first had really good intentions with the platform specifically for advertising, the way that you're saying, to keep people's data as private as possible but still allow businesses to grow. My issue with it is that now they're accepting advertising revenue from whoever will give it to them, and this is why we're seeing wider global issues. Facebook are not looking at what is good money in terms of advertising revenue, in terms of helping small businesses. They're looking at how can we manipulate the world.
Yeah, I mean, has Facebook just got too greedy? Because it's been an incredibly successful business, a brilliant business. I've used Facebook for years. I know that for the Daily Mail, for example, who I write columns for, they have a fabulous relationship with Facebook. It's mutually beneficial. You know, there's a lot to be said that's very positive about Facebook, and indeed has been said, right? But you're making barrel loads of cash, and the fear now is that you've suddenly lost control of your own beast. And as a result, you get these companies like Cambridge Analytica who are just using and abusing the data that you've been gathering for very nefarious reasons, fixing elections.
Facebook is a growing body. It's a concept that started in a university college room, in a bedroom. It's growing and growing. The thing is, though, Facebook are aware of their responsibilities. In the last 6 months, they've made huge changes to the platform that means there is a focus once again, on connections, posts from your friends and your family. It's resulted.
But they wouldn't have had to do that. I'm sorry, they wouldn't have had to do that had it not been possible for a company like Cambridge Analytica, who actively had a spokesperson, a whistleblower, come out and say that they used that information to exploit people's inner demons. Now, there are ethical people who are running ethical businesses on Facebook, and they should be allowed all of the benefits around advertising and cheaper advertising and building businesses and communities. What Facebook needs to be looking at is the actual ethics and morals and how they control.
I mean, 7% drop, I mean, in the share price, so that's tanking. Mark Zuckerberg lost about $5 billion yesterday of his own value. And you're not the only ones, Facebook. You know, I think everyone, Twitter, Google, everyone involved, these big beasts in the tech world, have all got responsibility here. But Facebook is the biggest beast, and it's the one that appears right now to be at the centre of some very serious questions about how it gets its information and what it does with it.
It's not necessarily Facebook, though. The data that Cambridge Analytica supposedly have acquired, they did not take directly from Facebook. We need to remember that there is a third party involved here. And
because it was through the development of an app.
It was a psychoanalysis
But once people had signed up to that, then it appears whoever was operating it managed to get access to those people's friends on Facebook.
And the user gave, when you signed up to use this app, you gave consent for that to happen.
Yeah, but
maybe not with full
here's where I
understanding.
take issue with it. That is completely true. But nobody really knew what they were signing up for, right? So you would click all these boxes perfectly, believing that you could trust Facebook, right? It turns out if you press one of these buttons and you clicked on one of these things, that gave Facebook not just access to all your information, it gave them access to all your friends' information, right? I didn't know that, and I'm not an idiot. And there are lots of idiots on Facebook who definitely wouldn't have known that, right? So my question to you is, why did you not make it more obvious to all us idiots what was going on?
Well, what they've done now is, and some time ago, they've changed that, and it's no longer possible for you to do that, and that hasn't.
Why did they change it?
I mean, as a response to people.
But it's always in response. That's the trouble, isn't it? Because
why is Facebook not being proactive
happens
with this stuff?
But this is the thing. When we look at education, Facebook have one of the largest education platforms possible. That's why they're so good at building communities. They have endless terms and conditions, endless FAQs. Why are they not teaching people about the importance of monitoring their own data, about potential data breaches? But they're not.
No, they're making it too complicated. That's the accusation. And you know what I think? I think that people join these social media platforms because they think they're connecting with their friends and family. What they don't realise is they're entering into a business where their attention is actually a commodity
My
to
son,
be sold.
here's what should worry Facebook, right, is that for a long time you were the college thing, right? You were the thing everyone was on, not to make money, but actually just to share, right, the stuff.
Messaging service.
What it's become is a massive global business generating hundreds of billions of dollars, right? And it's putting people off. You know, my 3 sons, nearly 18, 21, nearly 25, they told me none of them really use Facebook anymore, and their friends don't. Now, if I was Facebook, that's the next generation. They prefer the slightly more ephemeral Snapchat, Instagram, where it's far more controlled. People aren't abusing their stuff.
I hate to break it, they're still using Facebook. Facebook own Instagram. Facebook own WhatsApp.
But you don't supply the same information. You're just putting nice pictures up, right? You're not supplying all this information about your political views, etc., in most cases.
The analytics within these platforms still learns that data. These platforms, if I upload a picture of a nice Italian meal to Instagram, Instagram will go, David likes Italian food. Let's show him an advert for an Italian restaurant.
So you're saying it's the same problem for all of them?
I would argue that it's not a problem, but it allows me to have a personalised experience.
I would argue that it's not a personalised experience when your inner demons, and that is what they've categorised it as, are being manipulated for pure monetary
But Jessica,
reasons.
are you aware, for example, I mean, when we take out bank accounts or memberships of even cinema membership or whatever it may be, I think I checked the other day, I've got about 100 things that I'm emailed up for, whatever, right? All those people, all those companies are probably soaking up private information about us.
I've run a business and I've grown a business successfully on social media. I think there are great things to be said about social media. My problem is that social media is now giving us a rise to comparisonitis. We're seeing teenagers get hugely into debt. There was a recent story about this.
Comparisonitis, that sounds...
It's like a disease, a social media.
But I know what you mean. And by the way, it's becoming a massive show-off platform.
We're
a bit like all of them,
Which actually leads everyone to feel a little bit more depressed about their lives.
And this is the problem. And then we're advertising, we're preying on those people and saying, you're not good enough how you are, so spend this money on this product.
You're already in a state of vulnerability.
Exactly. So you're purchasing. And that's fine. As a business owner myself, I look at the platform and I go, yes, it's great for advertising, but we look at it ethically.
Well, we ran an online poll, and the question was, do you think Facebook is a force for good or evil? Now, the result was interesting because less than a quarter of you believe that Facebook is a force for good. 78% saying it's a force for evil. I mean, it's not great advertising.
Evil man.
Apparently
how do you plead?
I'd be interested to know how many of that 78% are logging onto Facebook this morning and
I think that's obviously very true. Look, most people I know have a Facebook
Did we run the poll on
account.
Facebook?
We should run it on Facebook, yeah.
No, it's
on
Twitter. Rival.
No, but actually, it's a good point. I think everyone uses Facebook or has it in some form. The question is, will they still be using it in the same way going forward? These stories erode trust. And I think something like Facebook, if you don't trust it, actually, very quickly, it will have a massive problem. And look, Facebook hoovers up almost all the advertising and media now, along with Google. It's incredibly successful. But that in itself will attract more enemies, as you know. You're eating away other people's businesses in the media.
Come out fighting.
And the media is now beginning to take on Facebook because it's self-interested too. So there are lots of things at play here, as you know.
There's a lot at play here, and Facebook is in a delicate position. It earns a lot of revenue. I think it's going to have to renew its commitments, and I think we are going to see new, transparent, this is what privacy means. I mean, they already have all the pop-ups. I think they're going to have to renew that and try and work to rebuild that trust with
Thanks both very much indeed. A spokesperson for Facebook said, we are committed to vigorously enforcing our policies to protect people's information, adding we are constantly working to improve the safety and experience of everyone. And Cambridge Analytica says it denies any wrongdoing. It subsequently deleted any Facebook data it held, which wasn't compliant with data protection regulations.
Which is exactly what you do when you haven't done anything wrong, isn't it?
Delete.
I'd like to hear from Mark Zuckerberg today, if you can get a message to him. in your training capacity. I want to hear from Martin Zuckerberg because I think that he's the figurehead for this. It's his company, his business. He started it, and I want to hear from him loudly and clearly. What are you going to do about it? Because I admire him enormously. I think he's a brilliant talent.
He's actively saying they are decreasing people's time spent on Facebook, and there are active messages from Facebook officials saying that they would not let their children use Facebook as a platform. And I think
that is what I would call reactive to negative publicity.
Yeah.
And being caught, frankly, being loose with the regulations. And I want to see him come out and be more proactive.
They've been working on this for some time. They've been working on this, the changes they're making to the algorithms, the focus on communities. They've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
OK.
And they continue to.
Thanks, both.